We asked you, who do you blame for Gregory Gate, as Sean and RJ were calling it this morning. I thought that was a funny name for it. Cowboys should have made a deal with Gregory before now. He's an emotional guy. His feelings are raw. He felt disrespected from the start, and his agent fueled that fire. I think that's good perspective coming in for the 918. 469, as you guys call it. Definitely think Randy Gregory's agent's self-interest was the ultimate nail in the Gregory coffin. Salute. Tolo for life. GBag Nation. Richie from Ennis. David from Virginia. I think the Cowboys' issue is not having a de facto GM, and it finally showed yesterday. Too many cooks in the kitchen. After this stuff with Gregory, they need to get the chain of command and titles in line. That way, everyone can stay in their lane. I definitely agree with that. I think Steven has a lot of power, but maybe he does not understand how to get an edge when it comes to team building. He knows how to manage the cap, and he knows how to be bad cop in negotiations, but he's not like a super bright GM that knows the latest and greatest personnel trends. He's more of a follower in that regard. For those kinds of things, you're more leaning on different people in the organization, maybe including a Will McClay. Yeah. But if it's not McClay's primary responsibility, he's not going to throw all of his energy into understanding, the big picture. He's doing his job, which is scouting and helping the coaches, scouts, and front office all get on the same page. So I don't think you have a true visionary, a true leader to set a great agenda, to be on top of everything, and to try to dominate the league. You have a rich family that likes to be involved in everything, and then a bunch of hardworking people underneath them trying to do their best job to keep employed, make the Joneses happy, and also help the team succeed. But, I think that text, hit it right on the head, that you got a lot of mismatched titles and too many cooks in the kitchen is what he said.
Yeah, I to me, the fact that, like I say, I have no love for this agent, at all. I do think he delivered Randy. I think he did it for Denver. I think Denver was one of those teams that was like, Peter, you got to help us out. We really like this guy. I know this guy's your client. I think he found kind of I'm not going to say a loophole, but it almost appears like he found something that, the Cowboys, that he took advantage of.
Yeah.
And he clearly influenced Randy into going for it.
And you're doing a nice job of also blaming the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I think that's what I can respect about that.
No. I mean, to me, like the Cowboys are, to me.
But Randy's a smart guy, too.
He is.
And he doesn't need to be shown you're being disrespected.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No. Yeah. And that's the thing about it is if Peter Schaefer felt like that he was being disrespected 2 weeks ago, this thing probably wasn't going to work out. Now, again, they somehow, some way they got a deal.
Yeah.
But probably because Randy said, yeah, let's do this. And then now it's like Peter, like, well, wait a minute. Let's think about this. Look what they did. They tried to put this provision in there on you, whereas like, and if you, follow people along in Twitter and stuff like that, there's people that are putting a copy of Randy's contract out there with a big red circle around the provision.
It does.
And talking to people over there, I'm saying, I screenshot and I go, hey, is this factual? And they're like, yes, that's factual. So to me, I think that Peter Schaefer was looking for a reason to deliver Randy. Mm-hmm. I think Randy got played in this one.
I agree.
I really do.
I agree 100%. And these are the benefits of having a Brian Broaddus here who has this kind of insight and information here with the GBag Nation 105.3 The Fan. I will say Steven's negotiating style is interesting, right? I mean, I think that we've seen a variety of the things that Steven likes to do this offseason. One is negotiating through the media. Seems like that might be, if I'm reading the tea leaves correctly, a way that he likes to go about things, because we saw the Amari stuff, that gets trickled out. The Tank stuff became very public as well.
Oh, when they hate a guy over there.
Right. They're not shy to admit
they'll
it.
hammer some stuff out.
But I do think, whereas, I'm leaning more towards the agent is to blame with the way that the Randy Gregory falling out happened, how we got to the point where Randy was angry enough to go ahead and say, you know what, I'm going to bail on this and go to Denver, was because the Cowboys took their sweet time to take this thing seriously. And there is the adage that we point to a lot with the Jones family, deadlines make deals, right? That, I think, might be a negative at times. They're waiting too long to really be aggressive, to really be serious, to really ramp up conversations where we have all this time, and if you get into a bidding war with other players, or you have a guy who is wanted by other teams and they're making him feel more courted, more like they are a priority, just being the Dallas Cowboys and having that cachet isn't enough anymore. And I think that's something where they need to tweak it with the way that they negotiate.
They greatly underestimated what Randy might do.
I totally agree.
In that situation. You know, Randy's agent, who will be on with Sean and RJ tomorrow, has already done one interview with Pro Football Talk, and we'll have audio on this tomorrow. You can judge for yourself if you think he's credible. But he said, we asked the Cowboys to take out that language, and they said no. Denver had the language out. I think it quickly moved to the Cowboys thinking they had another day to negotiate. Yeah. And Randy we'd already been getting reports that he was frustrated. He really wanted to get this thing done. He didn't want anything else to mess up his one opportunity to get paid. And the Cowboys making him wait another 24 hours, you know, I think pushed him over that edge, Eric.
Yeah, there was a lot of saltiness, I think, from Randy's perspective, because wasn't it on Monday that he removed all the Cowboy stuff off of his social media?
Yeah, that's what Bobby told us, yeah.
So, like, he was already annoyed, and I think a lot of it has to do with what you're saying, Walchuk, which is they wait so long, and that bites him in the rear end plenty, like this one. If they were really hard negotiating with Randy weeks ago, before he was able to even see what other teams were officially able to offer, then they're only negotiating with themselves here, and the one little caveat of the forfeiture language could have been mitigated. But as soon as you allow other teams to get involved, now Randy knows, hey, I can get a different type of contract, more favorable to what I want, what my agent wants, with this team right here. And I know it for a fact because now I'm able to talk with all these other teams. And that's where the Cowboys allowing other teams to get involved with their negotiations, and then you guys come back to us, and we'll say it's just that bites them in the rear end way too often.